Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 favorite live action Dreamworks movies. Yes, probably not, maybe not the most exciting one because anytime someone talks about Dreamworks, they think of the animated films. And I don't blame them because there's a lot of great, amazing, quality animated Dreamworks films, but I've done so many lists of Dreamworks. I did a whole ranking of them, I did a tier ranking, I did a top 10 list when I first started YouTube. So I've done 3 separate videos on DreamWorks animated films. Check those videos out. This one, first one I'm doing ever, live action DreamWorks movies, because believe it or not, DreamWorks did actual live action movies. So here are my top 10 of my personal favorite live action DreamWorks films. Let's get to it. Coming at number 10 is Honest Abe Lincoln, directed by Steven Spielberg. Daniel Day-Lewis crushed this performance. This is one of my all-time favorite Daniel Day-Lewis performances. I know everyone's got their favorite. Most people say There Will Be Blood, which is a great performance. A lot of people say My Left Foot, which is a great performance. I think this is my personal favorite. I'm not saying it's his best. This is just my personal favorite. He is the embodiment of Abraham Lincoln. I don't even think a single actor who could have played this role as good as Daniel Day-Lewis did. The voice, the look, just the whole presence he gives is amazing. It's so good. And I love that this is not a biopic about Abraham Lincoln. This is just during the time where Abraham Lincoln is ending the Civil War and making the 13th Amendment to end and abolish slavery. Very good movie. It is a political movie with a lot of dialogue. It's him trying to get more Democratic votes to either abstain or go with the 13th Amendment and abolishing slavery. So it's a great movie with an amazing, huge cast. Daniel Day-Lewis, Sally Field, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, what's his name? So many fucking people. Like, the cast is huge. Spielberg's direction is top-notch. Check it out. It's so good. Number 9 is a very different movie. It's a buddy movie, just a friendship movie. It's so funny, and I just watched it recently, and just like, I should talk about this movie more often. It's hilarious. It's I Love You, Man. I Love You, Man is so good. Paul Rudd, Jason Segel, so good. It's just literally a simple story about a guy who's getting married, and he has no one to make his best man because he doesn't really have any friends. He's always been a guy who's like gotten girls, but he can never get guy friends. He's always been more of like a woman kind of guy. So the whole movie is him trying to look for a male friend. It's really funny. It's like a romantic comedy, but it's not a romance. It's just a friendship comedy. It's about him meeting a guy, and it's not like a relationship. It's not a romantic thing. It's just a friendship. Even like the end of every rom-com where they make up and break up, it's like that with friends. It's a friendship movie. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that. It's just a different take on a movie, on like sort of the rom-com genre. Usually the rom-com genre is a man meets a woman, or if they even do like a homosexual rom-com, again, a man meets a man. But this is not a romance, it's just a friendship. I enjoy that. And the chemistry between Paul Rudd and Jason Segel are so good. Just great movie. Coming number 8 is a damn great raunchy comedy that probably can never be made again, and that's Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder is written and directed by Ben Stiller. He's so good in this movie. How he directed this movie is so good. Downey Jr., amazing. Jack Black, Tom Cruise, Matthew McConaughey. The casting is so good. And I love the story about these movie stars, these actors who are making a war movie. And then they end up in like a real war zone, and they think it's a movie, but it's real life, but it's being filmed like a movie. Oh, it's so great. It's very raunchy. It's very much a movie that would offend a lot of people nowadays in 2023, but it just works so beautifully. Definitely check it out. All right, number 7 is Road to Perdition. Road to Perdition is a great gangster movie directed by Sam Mendes. Sam Mendes does such great movies sometimes. Like, he can do some pretty boring-ass movies like A Revolutionary Road or Jarhead, but he can also do some quality shit like his Bond movie Skyfall or American Beauty is really good. And this movie, Road to Perdition, is such a great film. And it's such a different performance for Tom Hanks, where he plays a gangster. he plays this gangster with his son who witnesses a murder by another gangster, and it's about Tom Hanks protecting his son from these other gangsters that he loves and respects, but he loves and respects his son more, so he's there to protect them. So it's a really great movie. Paul Newman, this is one of his last performances. You got Daniel Craig in a very twisted role, and just a great movie. It's a great father-son dynamic movie, and it's such a good, unique, different performance by Tom Hanks. So check it out. Coming in number 6 is Tim Burton's Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Johnny Depp, amazing in this movie. He's so good. This is probably one of the last few great Tim Burton movies, because Tim Burton, he knocked it out of the park throughout the entire 90s and late 80s. He just did such good movies, especially when he collabed with Johnny Depp. Like Ed Wood, Edward Scissorhands, Sleepy Hollow, and then some. So, like, this movie was so shockingly good because I never saw Johnny Depp do like a musical, and I didn't even know if he could sing, and he sings really good. And it's like a horror musical. It's not just like a straight up musical, like whimsical and fairy tale. No, this is a twisted horror musical about a pretty much serial killer who's out for revenge for his wife and daughter. This judge kidnapped his daughter and killed his wife, and he's back and wants to get his daughter back and murder the judge. But at the same time, he opens up a barber shop and murders every customer who comes in because he believes all men and any person who comes to visit him deserves to die. And then his partner, Mrs. Lovitz, played by Helena Bonham Carter, she grabs the dead bodies and cooks them into pies and feeds them to the town of Fleet Street. It's so fucked up. It's great, though. The acting is great. The music is great. The whole look and gothic feel is fantastic. Just, it works. And Tim Burton, man, Tim Burton, you should make more movies like this. I don't know if you will, though. Make another Dumbo movie. I don't know. Number 5, 1917. Speaking of Sam Mendes, this, I think, is his best movie. I love this is all done. Well, it looks like it's all done through one motion tracking shot. It looks fantastic. It's literally just about these two soldiers trying to make it to another side of this field to warn the sergeant to call off the attack. That is literally what this movie's about. Two soldiers trying to make it to tell the sergeant to call off an attack. Because if he does the attack, they will all die. It's literally just about these two soldiers and the journey they go on through this hour and 45-minute movie. It's brutal, it's realistic, it's well acted, it's beautifully shot, and just it worked. It's incredible. It blew me away, and every time I watch it, it still blows me away. 1917, so good. Number 4, Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous. This is another movie, just something I love about rock and roll movies and movies about tours and stuff. That's why I love like the Mark Wahlberg movie, Rockstar. And I love this is Spinal Tap. In this movie about this fictional band of Stillwater, this kid who wants to work for Rolling Stone magazine. And he basically wants to interview them, so he goes on tour with them to get personal interviews. But while he's on tour, he gets to live the life of a rock star, see what they do, see all the crazy drugs and sex they go on. And yeah, it's literally like a 3-hour movie. It's a 3-hour road trip about what it's like to be a rock star in the 1970s. It's so well done. It's so funny. It's so dramatic. It's so well acted. And probably has my favorite performance by Philip Seymour Hoffman as this music critic. Just a great movie. So great. Coming number 3 is my favorite movie directed by Jason Reitman, and that is Up in the Air. Up in the Air stars George Clooney, Vera Farmiga, Jason Bateman, and Anna Kendrick. And George Clooney in this movie has a very unique job. He goes to companies throughout all the cities in the United States, and he fires people. That's literally his job. His job is to fire people. It is the most craziest job ever. He has to see people cry and plead and beg for their jobs back, but he is just so ruthless and spineless. He just goes there and fires people. And he takes on like a protege, Anna Kendrick, and they travel and he teaches her how to properly fire people. But it's also a romance movie because he meets a businesswoman played by Vera Farmiga, and he starts building a relationship with her, and he starts learning if this is the job he wants to do and everything. It's a great, amazing dramatic comedy. George Clooney is so good. It's one of my favorite performances by George Clooney, and just it's a movie that I love, and I just love the concept alone. And yeah, such a great film. Number 2 is another Steven Spielberg movie, Catch Me If You Can. Tom Hanks again, Leonardo DiCaprio. This is literally a true story about Frank Abagnale Jr., one of the youngest check fraud criminals ever in the United States. And it's about him at 19 years old, frauding the government with fraudulent checks over $20 million. And him on the run and taking multiple identities of him being a lawyer, a pilot, and a doctor. What a great movie. What a great story. One of the best movies directed by Steven Spielberg, one of the best scores by John Williams, one of the best performances by Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Love it. Absolutely love it. I think everyone has probably seen this movie, so y'all know what I'm talking about. Number one. So good. It's one of my favorite Ridley Scott movies. It's not Blade Runner, sadly. Blade Runner wasn't made by Open Road. Not Open Road, Dreamworks. And it's not Alien, but it is Gladiator. Love Gladiator. Probably one of Russell Crowe's best performances. One of the most entertaining Joaquin Phoenix performances as Commodus. It's a great Roman story about the Colosseum and everything. Oh, love it. Love the action. Love the story of this soldier. It literally says it's It's about a general who became a slave who became a gladiator who defied an emperor. Such a great movie. Such a great cast. It's just almost a perfect swords and sandals movie. So yeah, it's Gladiator. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. So yeah, that was my top 10 favorite live action DreamWorks movies. So let me know in the comment section below. Please tell me what are your top 10 favorites. Let me know in that comment section below. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.